Hello everyone, this is Nitika Gupta from School of Computer Applications, BBT University. Today my topic is project risk management. So before starting this topic, I want to tell some example would you buy a T-shirt that said risk happens? So if you answered yes, then you are thinking like a project manager, right? You are thinking like a project manager. Risk is a part of your planning maker. When you start the planning process for a project, one of the first thing you think about is what can go wrong, right? It sounds negative, but it's not. It is not. It's a preventative because issues will eventually come up, and you need a mitigation strategy in place to know how to manage risk on your project. But how do you work towards resolving the unknown? It is sounds like a philosophical paradox, but it is not. It's a very practical, right? There are many ways you can get a glimpse at potential risk. So let's start with the PPT. Before starting, what is risk management? Risk management on the project risk management is the process of identifying, analyzing, and then uh, uh, responding to any risk that arises um, over the life cycle of a project to help the project remain on track and meet its goal, right? So risk management is not reactive only. It should be part of the planning process to figure out risk that might happen in the project, and uh, um, how to control that risk if it in fact occurs. So risk analysis is a systematic process to estimate the level of risk for identified and approved risk. This involves estimating the probability of occurrences and consequence of occurrences, and converting the results to a corresponding risk. So the approach used depends, as you can see on the screen, the approach used depends upon the data available and requirements levied on the project level, right? Now uh, a risk is anything that could potentially impact your project's timeline, right? Performance or budget, or any project timeline, like performance or budget or deadline timeline. huh? So risks are potentialities, and in a project management context, if they become realities, they then become classified as issues that must be addressed. So risk management then is the process of identifying, categorizing, prioritizing, and planning for risk before they become any issue. Risk management can mean different things on different types of project, and on large scale projects, and risk managements even. And strategies might include intensive detailed planning for each risk to ensure mitigation strategies are in place if issues arises. Uh, for smaller projects, risk management might mean a simple prioritized list of high, medium, and low priority risks. So these are the just it is just about what is risk management on different type of project. So risk analysis are often based on detailed information that may come from a variety of techniques, including but not limited to different areas like analysis of plans and related token experience and interviewing and relevant lessons learned, studies, and results from test. So now the question arises how to manage risk and very how many are risk are there, how many different approaches are there. First, let's know about how to manage these types of risk. So uh, one person I know about Jason Westland, that is a CEO of any company. Right now, I'm not remember about him. So he offers some practical measures to apply to managing risk when in the midst of the of your project. So begin with, he notes it's crucial to start with a clear and precise definition of what your project has been tasked to deliver. In other words, I can say write a very detailed project charter, which includes a project summary, like how many modules are there, what technique you are going to use, what how many tools are there, and what tool are you are going to use in your project. So um, write a very detailed project charter. Hmm, with your project vision and objectives, scope, and deliverables. So this way, risks can be identified at every stage of the project. So then you will want to engage your team early in identifying any and all risks, like uh, like I can say um, Devin Dean and Scrum experts and video trainer says you can't be afraid to get more than just your team involved to identify and prioritize risk, right? So many project managers simply email out to their project team and ask their project team members to send them things they think might go wrong on the project. In terms of a risk to the project, he says in his training period, then how to plot a project risk. So but what I like to do is actually get the entire project team together and some of your clients representatives. I'm talking about the client or representatives on the project, and perhaps some other vendors who might be integrating with your project. Get them all in a room together and do a risk identification session, right? And if if you're not working in an organization, write a clear risk management strategy in a place. Talk openly to your boss or project sponsor about risk, like Restland writes, you want them to be aware of what risks are lurking in the shadows of the project. Never keep this information to yourself. You'll just be avoiding a problem that is sure to come up later, right? So this is about how to manage how you can manage your risk in the project. So there are basically two methods of risk analysis, as you can see over here. Like first is a qualitative approach and second is quantitative approach. So qualitative approach use the probability of occurrence and consequence of occurrence scales together with a risk mapping matrix to convert the value to risk levels, right? When a qualitative risk analysis is performed, risk rating can be used as an indication to the potential importance of risk on the program, and often expressed as low, medium, and high, or possibly low, medium, or medium, medium high, or high. So these are the versions that these are the unit I can say. You can show like this: low, medium, high, or possibly low, medium, and medium high or high. So this is about the qualitative approach. And quantitative approach use the technique such as expected value, decision tree analysis, payoff matrices, and modeling and simulation. Okay. Now, why do we manage risk? Actually, project problems can be reduced as much as 90% by using risk analysis. Now, positive. Now, what is positive risk? Not all risk is created equally. As mentioned, risk can be either positive or negative, though most people assume risks are inherently the latter, where negative risk implies something unwanted that has the potential to irreparably damage a project. Now, project risks are opportunities that can affect the project in beneficial ways, right? Not negative risk. Negative risk are part of your risk management plan, actually, just as positive risk should be, but the difference is an approach. You manage and account for known negative risk, but the positive risk uh, can be managed to take full advantage of them, right? So there are many examples of positive risk. No, not in this slide. Actually, uh, you could complete the project early. You could acquire more uh, uh, customers than you accounted for. You could imagine how a delay in shipping might open up a potential window or better marketing opportunities, etc. So it is important to note, though, that these definitions are not uh, in stone. Positive risk can quickly uh, turn to a negative risk, or vice versa. So positive risk can quickly turn to negative risk, so you must be sure to plan for all eventualities with your team, with your project team. So, why do we manage risk? Project problems can be reduced as much as 90% by using risk analysis. So, positives in terms of positive, more information available during the planning phase, and improved probability of success and optimum project. And negative, it could be project cut due to risk level. Now, goals of risk assessment. Risks have been thoroughly examined and included in project plans, resulting in risk reduction. Information about possible risk is available throughout the project, resulting in a better decision making process. So, now the next thing, that how to respond to a positive risk. Like everything else on a project, you are going to want to strategize and have the mechanism in place to cap the rewards that may be seeded in a positive risk. Our contributors who wrote the how to, some project team members, like uh, stakeholders, and everyone included in the project team offered three tips. Like, first thing that you will want to know is if the risk is something you can exploit. That means figuring out ways to increase the likelihood of that risk occurring. Second one is, you may want to share the risk. Sometimes you alone are not equipped to take full advantage of the risk. And By involving others, you increase the opportunity of yielding the most positive outcome from the risk in your project. So finally, there may be nothing to do at all, and that is exactly what you should do. Nothing. You can apply this to negative risk as well. For not doing something is sometimes the best thing you can do when confronted with the specific risk in the context of your project. So, project objective might be affected by a certain risk, allowing the objectives to be improved. And many of the project weaknesses have been identified in advance and are incorporated into the project plan. So, decrease the number of changes made to the project plan during project execution, resulting in higher chances of project success. This is the diagram of risk management process. Risk management process and control is connected to document risk management plan, because whatever you're going to write in your documentary or document or SRS, you are going to make it right. So it contains four steps. Like, first step could be define objectives. Second is identify risk. Third is quantify risk, and fourth one is develop responses. Or if I go in detail, I can say there are 6 steps in the risk management process. So, how do you handle something as seemingly exclusive as project risk management? The same way you do anything when managing a project, you make a risk management plan, or I can say document risk management plan, and it's all about the process. Process can make the unmanageable manageable, right? You can take what looks like a disadvantage and turn it into a advantage if you follow these 6 steps. Identify the risks. First one is identify the risk. In this step, you cannot resolve a risk if you do not know what it is. There are many ways to identify a risk. As you do go through this step, you will want to collect the data in a risk register. One way is a brainstorming, or even brain writing, which is a more structured way to get a group to look at a problem. Okay. Now, uh, uh, as noted earlier, you can tap your resources, that can be your team, colleagues, or stakeholders. Find those individuals with a relevant experience and set up interviews so you can gather the information you'll need to both identify and resolve. It does not hurt to speak with that person in your organization who is the glass is always half empty type. Their doom and gloom perspective can be surprisingly helpful to see risk that might not be evident to anyone else. So look both forward and backward. That is, imagine the project in progress. Think of the many things that can go wrong. Note them. Do the same with historical data on past. So now your list of potential risk has grown. As you are identifying risk, you will want to make sure uh, that your risk register is not filling up with risks that are really outliers and not risk at all. So when trying to minimize risk, it is good to trust your intuition, and this can point you to unlikely scenarios that you just assume couldn't happen. Now, second one is analyze the risk. Okay, you have got a lot of potential risk listed in your risk register, but what you are going to do with them? Hmm? The next step is to determine how likely each of those risks are to happen. This information should also go into your risk register, right? uh, when you assess a project risk, you can ultimately and proactively address many impacts, such as avoiding potential litigation, addressing regulatory issues, complying with new legislation, and reducing your exposure and minimizing impact. So, analyzing risk is hard. There is never enough information you can gather. Of course, a lot of that data is complex, but most industries have best practices which can help you with your analysis. So, benefit of risk assessment is must be a project investment, and proactive management, early warning, and achieve project objective. So, ignoring risk does not make the risk go away. Now, before starting level of reference, let's start with the prioritize the risk. That is the third step of the process. Prioritize the risk. Not all risks are created equally. You need to evaluate the risk to know what resources you are going to assemble towards resolving it. Or some risks are going to be acceptable. You would grind the project to a half and possibly not even be able to finish it without first prioritizing the risk. So, having a large list of risks can be daunting, but you can manage this by simply categorizing risk as high, medium, or low. Next process step is assign an owner to the risk. All your hard work identify and evaluating risk is for not if you don't assign someone to oversee the risk. In fact, um, this is something that you should do when, sorry, listing the risk, right? Who is the person who is responsible for that risk, identified when and if it should occur, and then leading the work towards resolving it. That determination is up to you. There might be a team member who is more skilled or experienced in the risk. Then that person should lead the charge to resolve it, or it might just be a arbitrary choice. Of course, it is better to assign the task to the right person, but equally important in making sure that every risk has a person responsible for it. And the fifth process is respond to the risk. Now the rubber hits the road. You have found the risk. All that planning you have done is going to get implicated. First, you need to know if this is a positive or negative risk. Is it something you could exploit for the betterment of the project? Last is a monetary risk. You cannot just set focuses against a risk without tracking the progress of that initiative. That is where the monitoring comes in, right? You'll want to set up a series of meetings to manage the risk. Make sure you have already decided two means of communication to do this. So this is all about the six processes of the project management, and three levels are like high risk, medium risk, and low risk. Now, what is this? High risk means substantial impact on cost, technical performance, or schedule, substantial action required to alleviate issue, high priority, management attention is required, and medium risk is some impact on cost, technical performance, or schedule. Special action may be required to alleviate issue. Additional management attention and may be needed. Last one is low risk, minimal impact on cost, and technical performance or schedule. Normal management oversight is sufficient. Quantitative risk analysis outputs are: first is prioritized risk list, and you can have face-to-face meeting to with your team members to prioritize risk. Probabilistic cost estimate at completion per object phase, and probabilistic schedule estimates for key milestones to help the project manager allocate reserve accordingly. Probabilistic estimates of meeting desired technical performance parameters and validating technical performance of key components. And the last is estimates of the probability of meeting cost, technical performance, and schedule objectives. For example, determining the probability of achieving the planned estimate at completion. Updated risk register, probabilistic analysis for project success, time, and cost. Updated priority of risk events, trends in risk analysis. Now, quantitative risk analysis tools. Three types of tools of to identify quantitative risk. Like first is interviewing, second is decision tree analysis, and the third one is Monte Carlo simulation. The, now the question is, what is Monte Carlo process? The Monte Carlo process is an attempt to create a series or create a series of probability distributions for potential risk, randomly sample the distributions, and transform the numbers into useful information that reflects quantification of the associated cost, technical performance, or schedule risk. Now, uses of Monte Carlo simulation. It is used to estimate risk in the design of service centers, used to measure time to complete key milestones in a project, and it is Monte Carlo simulation used to estimate the cost of developing, fabricating, and maintaining an item. Now, what is the impact of or probability matrix? A common method, or can say tool, to determine whether a risk is considered low, moderate, or high by combining the two dimensions of risk. First one is its probability of occurrence, and second one is its impact on objective if it occurs. Now, 2 into 2 impact or probability matrix. Here you can see 2 into 2 diagonal sorry, 2 into 2 where 4 blocks are there. It is known as 2 row and 2 columns. 2 into 2 matrix, 2 cross 2 matrix, and the size of this matrix is 2 cross 2, right? The green box shows the low risk, that is a passive acceptance or workarounds. The yellow block shows the moderate risk, that is medium risk, or it is active acceptance or contingency. The red one known as high risk, that is risk response planning. So this graph is shown between the probability and impact. So this is known as impact probability matrix. Now, probability and impact matrix. Based on this, we have two charts. First is impact scale, and second one is probability scale. If we talk about the impact scale, consequences are like in case of uh, uh, extreme, it occurs when fatality or multiple fatality is expected. When high scale occurs, and if the block is high or red, it means several injury or disability likely or some potential for fatality. And if the block is yellow, it means it is moderate or means lost time or injury likely or some potential for serious injuries or small risk of fatality. If the block is green, it means it is low and first aid required or small risk of serious injury. And if it is negligible, it means no concern. So just like this, it is a probability scale. Now, quantitative risk analysis, it is the process of numerically analyzing the effect of identified risk on the project's objective, in particular the project schedule and the project cost. Quantitative risk analysis means quantify possible outcomes for the project and assess probability of achieving specific project objectives, and identify risk required most attention, identify realistic and achievable cost, schedule, or scope targets given project risk, and determine best management decision when the condition or outcome are uncertain. So, taking risk stage by stage means this during the project idea initiative phase, like unavailable subjects matter expert and poor definition of problem or project, and no feasibility study, no or unclear objectives. Risk during the project planning phase, like no risk management plan, party planning, undeliverable requirements and specifications, unclear statement of work, no management or stakeholder support, poor role definition, inexperienced team, and lack of skills. And the risk during the project execution phase are like changes in schedule, no control system in phases, unskilled labor, material availability or poor quality material, and unreliable suppliers, unexpected price increases, not budget for it, or strikes, whether regulatory requirements. So different types of risks are there during the project execution phase. Some risks are there during the project closeout or termination phase, like unacceptable to customer, poor quality product or project, or budget problems, penalties to be paid for exceeding the time parameter of the project. So basics of risk management is identify the risk, analyze the probability, determine the overall severity of the risk, determine which risks are the most important for the further action, and document the response plan for the risk. It means accept the risk, avoid the risk, monitor the risk, and transfer the risk. Project standards for risk management means risk management plan, procurement, contingency reserve, alternative strategies, and insurance. Project reserve, management reserves, contingency reserves. Management reserves means created for it is created for the unpredictable risk, and the contingency reserves created for the predictable risk. Now approaches are there for used for developing contingency allowance, like budgeting a standard allowance for contingencies and applying it to all the project, and identifying a percentage of additional cost or time needed based on past experience, and pinpointing the most likely risk for a project, and some strategies are there for managing the risk, like some positive risk and some negative risk are there. I have already told everything about the what is positive risk and what is negative risk. Positive risk or opportunities means exploit, share, enhance acceptance, and negative risk, or we can say threat. Like negative risk, it means threat openly. So it means avoid transfer. This risk can be avoid transferable and mitigate acceptance. Now some questions. It's your homework. Like some questions the project team should ask when determining a risk. Why should the risk uh, be accepted? What are the potential benefits? Are the potential benefits worth the risk? Or what are the potential losses? And what is the possibility of failure? So this is your homework, and do uh, uh, listen a complete video, and this is all about the project risk management. Thank you so much for this lovely session. We will continue in my next lecture. Thank you so much.